Okay, ladies and gents, we're going to quickly have a look at drawings. So up to now what we've done this year is we've done a part where, obviously you draw the part, then we take a collection of parts and we put them in an assembly together. That's assembly mode, and now we're going to look at drawing mode. And basically we get there the same way by going new and then drawing. If your screen looks a bit different, it might look like this, don't worry about it. It will look either like that or like this, doesn't really matter. Say new drawing, okay. Now what happens is once we start a new drawing, we straight away presented with this sheet format screen. If you don't see the screen, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how to get to it just now. In fact, let me close it. Right, I'm going to show you how to do this manually. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our drawing according to the question. Now in the exam, you're going to get one of two options. The first option is I'm going to ask you to draw a part, either in first or third angle isometric, orthographic, I beg your pardon, with a shaded isometric, a title block, and then all the dimensions, right? So, and that would be of a part. So a part in first or third angle orthographic, with a shaded isometric, a title block, and then all the dimensions needed. The second option that I may ask in the exam is A4 landscape, so that would be the sheet size, with an assembly drawing. And if I ask you for an assembly drawing, I'm going to want a bill of materials, also again a title block, and then also balloons. I'm going to show you how to do both. We're going to start off with a part. So over here, let's close that. Over here I have a part, right? And I want to make this part into first angle orthographic, and the sheet size I want is A4 landscape. That is what I normally use, and in the test I'm pretty sure you will get A4 landscape too. So we draw the part, we save it. If it's an assembly, put all the parts together, we save that as well, and then we're going to do a drawing. So file, new, drawing, okay. At this stage, you can select the sheet format size, right? So we're going to go to A4 landscape, right? That's what I'm looking for, okay? Or whatever other size is specified to you in the question, or whatever size you want your drawing to be. And then over here, we have display sheet format. By ticking or unticking this box, it's going to show or hide the title block. So if you unclick display sheet format, right, there's going to be no title block. If you leave that ticked, there's going to be a title block. So we want that because we want to have a title block. That's part of the question. If you cannot see A4 landscape, right, if you only see A0.4, then we need to untick the box that says only show standard formats, right? So if we untick that box, we can then see all the different formats available to us. So A4 landscape, and I want to display the sheet format. Okay, if you do not see that window when you come in to the drawing the first time, right, what we can do is we can set it manually, which is not a bad thing either. Right click anywhere on the page, we need to cancel that. Right click anywhere on the page, then we're going to go to properties, which is hidden. So let me just show you. There's no properties here, so you have to click on the drop down box there, properties, right? And over here we can now change the properties of our drawing. So the type of projection I said I want first angle, so we're going to change it to first angle, right? And if you didn't see that box in the beginning when you opened when you started a new drawing at least, right? If you didn't see that box, you can change it here. Okay, so we can go A4 landscape, okay, and display sheet format, and it's in first angle. And there you are. Okay, so let me just show you that again, so you can see the workflow if you don't see that box. New drawing. Okay, let's see this. Let's say that box never came up. Right click, properties, right, first angle, standard sheet size, right, and we want to go A4 landscape, and display sheet format is what I want. Okay, the next thing you need to check for me, please, is that this drawing is in whatever units you want it to be in. So if you want the drawing to be in inches, you're going to set it to inches. If you want it to be in millimeters, then we need to set it to millimeters. By default, this template should pick up on what you set your system up to be, but I know sometimes, especially in one of the labs, it's not always in millimeters. So we want to check over here in the bottom corner, that this says MMGS and not IPS, right? So make sure this says MMGS. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to edit the title block at the bottom. We want to modify it a bit just to look a bit neater. And I will give you the sheet format, how I want this to look in the test or the exam. So we right click at the back of the page and we say edit sheet format. And you'll see these lines have now gone blue because actually they're underdefined. But we can now trim this as we would anything else, and we can use any of the sketch tools that we're used to using to modify our block. Right, so I'm going to delete all of this. Right, and just press the delete key and we can remove that. Okay, so I want just this. If you have to add another block or whatever, you can just use any tool that you're used to using. Easy enough. Okay, so over here I want to write Tshwane University of Technology up in the top here. So what we do is, in fact, let's start over here, right? So the title, we want the title to be, let's say, exam question 1, right? So we double click on that little block. Hey, there we go. And we say exam, or let's call it drawing 1. Drawing 1 with the G. Okay, drawing 1, right? Happy. Over here, I want this to be my student number. So we double click again. Student number. Okay, and over here, you can type in your student number. Double click. It's not playing along so well there. Okay, there's your student number. Okay, the top here, we want to write Tshwane University of Technology. Now, there is already some text here, it's just kind of hidden, right? So if you move your mouse to the middle of this block, you'll see next to the mouse pointer, it changes to little A. Once it's got that A next to it, we double click, right? And we can write Tshwane, come on. Double click. It's fighting me. Let's say edit text. Right click, edit text also works. Tshwane University. Okay, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. So let's change the size. It's got 14. That looks good. Okay, and let's move this to be in the middle. Okay, there we are. Right, so I'm not very happy with my sheet format. Everything's there that I need. And now what we do to apply this is we click the blue arrow. Okay. And now we're editing the sheet. Now, there's basically 2 modes we're in here. Either we're editing the sheet or we're editing the sheet format. So if you're editing the sheet format, right, you're editing the title block. You can't insert any views while you're editing the title block, right? But once you're editing the sheet, which is now, it's basically the default mode, we can now insert our views. Okay, so we already set this to be first angle. So what we can do, we can click on standard 3 view, right, and I want a bracket extra, click on the tick, and it will import that bracket for me already in first angle. Okay, I want to change the scale of this, make it a little bit bigger. So click on this view, or any view for that matter. We can say custom scale, and we can change the scale to 1:2, or whatever your case may be. If you wanted to use a custom scale, you could go user defined, and you could make that 1:3 or 1:1.5. Okay, let's leave it like that. Looks pretty good. Maybe it's a bit big. Let's see. Okay, move the views around by just clicking and dragging on them. No, absolutely no fuss there. Okay, I want to see the hidden detail on all my views, so I'm going to click on the view and click on show hidden detail, right? And that will display the hidden detail for me on all the views. Kind of important, right? Okay, the next thing we want to do is let's put in a shaded isometric. So we click on model view, right? Find your part. If you need to, you can browse. There we go. Select isometric from here, shaded, and we can put it right down there. Okay, it's a bit small, so let's change the scale. Click on the view and use custom scale. Let's make it 1:2. Okay, there we are. Let's move that out of the way a bit. I think I'm going to make these 1:2 as well. looks a bit better to me. Okay, next we want to insert the dimensions on these drawings, right? You could do it all manually, but we don't really enjoy manual too much. So what we're going to do is under annotation, we're going to click on model items. Okay, once you've clicked on model items, the source, we're going to say entire model, and we're going to click on import onto all views, right? That means that it's going to take the entire model and put dimensions on all of these views, right? Otherwise, it's only going to do a top view or a front view or something like that. The next thing we want to enable over here under dimensions is marked for drawing, also not marked for drawing. Okay, we want to do whole wizard. No, we don't need whole wizard profiles. We need whole wizard locations. Okay, and yeah, so those four. So what's that? Marked for drawing, not marked for drawing. Instance revolution count, so that's if you use the pattern, it tells you how many. Okay, and we want to use the whole wizard locations. Okay, once you've done that, click the tick, and there are all our dimensions, right? Now you're going to want to try and make this a little bit neater, right? So we can click and drag these dimensions to make them a bit neater. Like, we don't want any of this sort of overlapping, any of these overlapping things here. So you're just going to make these dimensions nice and neat. Okay, you will get marks for making your dimensions neat. Let's put this one on the side. Okay, and we repeat with all the other views. There's a way to do this automatically. I just think you can select all the dimensions. Right click on one of them, and we can say align, and we can say auto arrange. Right, that will automatically arrange your dimensions, but you still are going to have to do some manual things to make sure that some of them don't overlap. So yeah, okay, that looks pretty reasonable to me. That up a bit. Okay, there we are, right? And that's it. There you've made a drawing, first angle orthographic, you're seeing the hidden detail, all the dimensions are there, shaded isometric, and you've edited your sheet format. Okay, the last thing we want to do is we want to save this drawing to PDF. Okay, so we go File, Save As. Okay, you first have to, I think you have to first save it as a drawing. So I'm going to save it on my desktop, and we're going to call drawing 1. Save. Save. Okay, and then File, Save As, and we're going to change that to PDF. Right, so that's going to save this drawing as a PDF drawing, and that's how you're going to submit it to me in the exam. You're going to submit to me a PDF drawing. Okay, let's check it there quickly. There it is. Okay, and this is what I want in the exam, and this is also really handy if you need to print this where somebody doesn't necessarily have Solidworks. You can just save it like that. Okay, good. Now I want to show you quickly how we're going to make a drawing of an assembly. Okay, so here's my assembly, right? And I want to make a drawing of this assembly. So what we're going to do is, again, new drawing. Okay, let's assume this box didn't open. Okay, close that, and we're going to go to properties. Okay, first angle orthographic, standard sheet size, A4 landscape. Okay, display sheet format. Okay, all right. First thing we're going to do, we're going to edit the sheet format. Right click, edit sheet format, and we're going to again just make this box like a bit neater. Okay, and select all of this. Okay, over here, let's right click, edit text. I'm just going to write TT there to save some time. Title, drawing 2. Okay, over here, come on, student number, right, and in this box, my student number, X. Okay, here we are. Right. So there's my sheet format set up, the right size, everything happy as can be. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put an isometric view into here. So view layout, model view. Okay, and it's the pulley assembly. I wanted a isometric and a shaded view. Right, bit small. So let's click on the view and let's change the scale. Again, let's try 1 to 2. 1 to 1, that could work. Alright, so what we want now is we want a bill of materials, right? Because we want to see what all these parts are. So inserting a bill of materials is pretty easy, right? We're going to go annotations, tables, and bill of materials. Right? This, you can leave all of this just like this, no need to change anything there. Click the tick. Okay, and we're going to put the bill of materials on our drawing somewhere where it doesn't crash with anything else. Okay, there we are. This view we can move a bit. Alright, so now what we've done is on this bill of materials, it's actually shown us, I'm going to make it slightly smaller, right? It's already sort of given us the part numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and what the part is, base, shaft, bush, pin, pulley, and this all comes from your file name, right? So if you called your file name part 1, part 2, part 3, that's what's going to say here. Now we need to label all these parts over here, right? And the easiest way we're going to do that is using balloons. So balloon, right? Select the view. Well, let's just see if we click the tick. Auto balloon is what we want. That's what we want. There we go. Auto balloon. Right, and there it has done all the numbers for us automatically. Click the tick. Right, so 1, 2, what's 3? 3 is the bush. Okay, we can't see it because it's inside, so it hasn't done 3. Okay, 4, 5. There's your auto balloon. If you wanted to do a manual balloon, what you could do, click on balloon and click on the thing you wanted to point to, and it will automatically label that for you. Okay, so there you are. That is drawings. Again, want to save it as PDF, file, save as, change that to PDF, and we can save it. Okay, so that's the two options that you're going to get in the exam. Either you're going to get a part where you have to put all, so in either case, you're going to have to edit the sheet format to change it either to first or third angle, and you're going to have to make it A4 and edit the title block. That's sort of the standard on both iterations. Okay. In the first one, you're going to do a part with annotations and hidden detail, or I'm going to ask you to do an assembly drawing like this one with balloons and a bill of materials. The last thing I want to show you, which is pretty important, is a function called pack and go. So what we want to do is sometimes we want to save an entire object together with its drawings and everything, right, into one neat folder. And this is what you're going to do for me in the exam when it comes to assembly, the assembly and the drawing actually. Once you're done and you complete with everything, so you've done your drawing, you've done your part, you've done assembly, you've done everything, right? Even the nuts and bolts, everything, right? We're going to use a function called pack and go. And if you think about going on holiday, you take all the clothes that you need and you put them in a nice little suitcase. And then you take that suitcase and you go on holiday with it. You don't take all your clothes loose in your hands and it's a big mess. We're going to put all of this into a suitcase, right? And that suitcase is what we call a zip file. So how we do that is file and pack and go. There it is. File, pack and go. Right? Over here, we're going to include drawings. Right? You can see it's now including that drawing. And we're going to say save to a zip file. Right? And that zip file I'm going to put on my desktop and call it let's call it exam 1. Okay, save. Now everything has to already be saved, right? Your assembly must be saved, your parts must be saved, everything must have a name before you pack and go, otherwise this will not work, right? So we're going to save to a zip file and we're going to say save. And when we click on save, you're going to see a little scroll bar running here. If you do not see that scroll bar, then there's something that hasn't been saved. So let's say save, and you can see the scroll bar's running. Okay, Windows closed, my pack and go is complete. Right, let's go and check it. Please, ladies and gents, check your pack and go file before you submit it. Right, on my desktop where I told it to go, there's a folder called exam. If we open exam, everything that belongs to that part, right, is included over here. The drawing, everything. And this is how you're going to submit your exam to me, right? You're going to just send me this exam file or whatever. It'll hopefully contain your student number, right? You're going to save that and you're going to submit that to me. Okay, well, I think that's it for drawings. If you have any questions, make some noise and we'll come and help you.